Hey everyone, how's it going? So what am I working on now? I got a 2013 Hyundai Santa Fe. It's a 4-cylinder. What is it? 2.4, I think. I'm not even sure. It doesn't show up on my report here. Anyway, customer's complaint is that they think they have a transmission problem. They said it won't go past 40 miles an hour. So, okay. And they said they also got to check engine light on. All right, that's great. So anyway, ran a scan on it. Let me show you what I got for a report. So, in the engine, I have a PO420 cat efficiency. Transmission has no codes. See that? ABS has 3 codes. A pressure sensor, a CAN timeout, and a CAN timeout. Well, that's a communication type issue, usually. Airbag has a code in it. Airbag event 2 has codes in it for warning lamp failure. I think airbag 2 might be for passenger side. And tire pressure monitor, but that's it. Oh no, I'm sorry, smart junction box. Turn signal. Okay, no big deal. So, there's no transmission codes, there's no engine codes other than that CAT code. So what could be causing the issue? I'm not sure, but I have a theory. I don't know. Let's find out if my theory is right, but hang on one second. Let me put my seatbelt on. There. You can watch me from there. Always put your seatbelt on. Safety first. All right. So, what I think might be going on, but I could be completely wrong. Could be a transmission. Anything's possible. Could be a transmission and not setting codes. But what I think may be the problem, I wonder if the cat's plugged up and it just won't accelerate. Let's take it for a ride and see what it does. I mean, anything's possible. It could be a bad transmission, but just when I see a cat code and no transmission codes in a newer type of vehicle, I mean, yeah, granted the car's 12 years old now, but usually something like this would usually store a cat type code. Oh, Advanced Auto Parts. I ordered my parts 2 hours ago and you're just showing up now. Thank you. So, all right, first gear, second gear. Well, the engine is revving up, so. Third gear, fourth gear. Car's got no power. It was revving up, but it really has no power. All right, let me drive this thing a little bit longer on the back streets right around the shop. I don't want to get stuck with it, obviously. But I got a funny feeling this exhaust might be plugged up. I want to verify the transmission is shifting all gears. So let me get to a spot where I can drive safely. Actually, this may be a lot worse than I thought. I could swear I heard the motor knocking for a second there. All right, let me try to accelerate here. I'm going about 25 miles an hour. But I mean, if the exhaust is plugged, it could just be detonating. No, I don't hear any detonation. I'm hearing some strange noises. I don't know what they are. I don't see anything behind me. But the car has zero power. I wouldn't say zero power, but it's lacking quite a bit. Doesn't really want to go anywhere. It feels like the exhaust is plugged. So what do you do in a situation like that? Usually what I'll do is I'll knock out the upstream O2 sensor and I'll then take it for another ride to see if it changes anything. The knocking out the upstream O2 sensor will at least tell me, hey, does the motor rev up? But I tell you, I heard a noise that I did not like, and it was when I tried to accelerate. All of a sudden it went like that, and to me that sounded like it was rod knock, unless it was some severe detonation that happened. But usually a severe detonation is not rhythmic, like this was rhythmic, like timed. But I'm going nowhere. I mean, I sound like I sound like a Honda Civic. Some kid has a air induction kit on it, and the car accelerating up the road, and you hear is whoa, and they're going absolutely nowhere. That's what it sounds like to me. So that, to me, tells me I got a plugged exhaust. So I've had quite a few vehicles coming in lately where people thought that they had transmission issues, and it wasn't a transmission issue after all. It was something creating a problem that mimicked a transmission issue. So, all right, getting back to the shop now. I'm on the main road again. Next day, back to the Hyundai, the one with the no power. So I'm going to pop that upstream O2 sensor out. Let's do that. Just put you in a little holder here. There's not a lot you're going to be able to see, I don't think. So the upstream O2 sensor is right here, and it sits inside a cup. I'm not sure if you can actually see that. See that there? It sits inside a cup. Let me try going from the other side. So over on that side, you have the air filter you're dealing with. Oh yeah, this is a little bit better. All right, hopefully my fat head won't be in the way. So I have this kind of a socket, O2 socket, and it does fit. Oh, that's a 1/2-inch drive, my bad. All right, let me get a 1/2-inch drive ratchet for that. Hang on 1 second. All right, I'm back. So, 1/2-inch drive. All right, glad that came free. As easy as it did. All right, so now I'm just going to leave this thing hanging off to the side. It's not going to do anything being like that. So now what I'm going to do is let me start it up. You got to be mindful because you're going to get obviously high exhaust heat coming out of there, and you got to be careful of what's up here. I think I'm going to be okay. I'm just going to run it down the street, but let me start it up and let me verify how. I want to make sure there's not flames coming out of that. Maybe I can figure it out right in the parking lot. Let's find out. I could also hook a pressure gauge up to that. It won't run right either with that O2 out, but it'll run good enough for me to know what's going on. Yeah, it's got power again. All right. Like I said, I don't want to burn anything up there, so let me just get this back in the same spot. But it's not reading the O2, so it's going to run very funky. So I just pulled back in front of the garage door. Like I said, I didn't want to go too far. I don't want to take a chance of burning anything up. So now, what I'm going to do, I would say everything's fine. This was like this before, so I'm not concerned about that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a pressure gauge. I'm going to stick in there. I want to see what the exhaust pressure actually is. So here's my gauge. It's a snap-on or a Blue Point, whatever it's called. It's just a vacuum pressure gauge. Here's an adapter you can put in the O2 hole. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to hook the gauge up. I'm going to see what kind of back pressure you got. So now for this, technically I don't even have to tighten it down. Finger tight should be more than adequate. Can you even see that? All right, so right now it's on 0. When I start it up, it's probably going to move all over the place, meaning the gauge might fall. So let me start it, and then I'll show you the gauge. So just at idle, initially it was up around 1, maybe 2, but it's calmed down, but it is a little bit of pressure. I got to find a way to rev this thing up. So let me see if I can't find something to, like maybe a rob to hold the RPMs up. Hang on a second. Actually, you know what? No. I can do it this way. Put the gauge up here. All right, let's see. I'm gonna rev it up. Yeah. See it increasing there? The reason it's bouncing all over the place is because this thing's not running right, because the oxygen sensor is not in play. It may actually run better if I disconnect the oxygen sensor. Let's see. Where is the connector? It's not in a happy place. I'm not going to bother. So I already know for a fact I have a plugged exhaust. So, got to see what the customer wants to do. But I know for a fact it's a plugged exhaust. Not a transmission problem per se, because that's what they brought it in here for originally. They thought it was a transmission. It's not. So, all right. Well, there you can see a plugged exhaust can wreak havoc on a vehicle. And that's about it. All right. I got to give this thing a look over too, just make sure of everything else the car's going to need. I like to give the customer a clear definition of what's up with their car. Like, they may not know they're going to need brakes soon. Don't know if it does. They may not know that they have tires they're going to need soon. So I like to give a car a look over and then give them a complete list. Say, here, this is what's going to fix your problem now. But just so you know, in the future, you're going to need this, this, and this. So it's just good for people to know that. So, all right. That's pretty much it. I think I'm rambling. I always do. All right, guys. Hopefully you're getting something out of my videos. If you are, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, have a great day. Keep wrenching. Okay, so we're not done with the video just yet. It turns out this thing has a secondary cat. Didn't realize it. And I've seen these plug up. I mean, it still could be the front one, but I got to do my due diligence here. I'm going to separate the exhaust, and I'm going to make sure that it's not this one that's plugged up. So it does have this cat right here, and like I said, I just had just had a GMC that this cat had plugged up on. So I'm going to disconnect the exhaust right here and then see what happens. But like I said, I have it up in the air to basically just give it a once over and make sure everything's okay. So let me do that, let me disconnect that, and then let's take it for a ride. So it's disconnected now. I took the gasket out too. But at least this way, this will have enough of an exhaust leak where I don't have to worry about it. And you can see inside, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't mean anything. It's hard to tell. It could be plugged up towards this end. It could be absolutely fine. I got a funny feeling it's fine. I think it's a cat up there. And interesting to note, see the back of the motor? That is a replacement motor. This motor was replaced not too long ago. So, not that it means anything, but the motor was replaced already. So, alright, let's take it for a ride in the parking lot. Let me get this thing down. Just coming down on the lift right now. Okay, so we're sitting inside. That's pretty quiet, considering the exhaust is wide open. So, I'm going to say that the front manifold catalytic converter, I'm going to say that that's plugged up. But let's find out. Don't want to hit anything backing up. Let's see. Yeah, it's got no power. I could feel it. It's got no power. That was full throttle. This thing should accelerate a little better than that. Yeah, compared to before when I disconnected the O2, this thing has no power. Okay. I mean, not like these things are power horses to begin with, but yeah, it's got no power. All right, and I did look over the rest of the vehicle. Everything else seems fine. It's not due for an oil change or anything yet, so we're all good there. I just want to hook the exhaust back up, just in case the customer decides not to do the repair, which is always a possibility. So I don't want to leave it disconnected and then have to get it back in on the lift later on. I have an open lift now. I get on the lift now. All right. Got some kind of weird reflection going on in my glasses. At least it's how it looks in the video. All right. So that's going to end this video now, again. So, anyway, all right. Hopefully you got something out of that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, guys, have a great day. Keep wrenching. Keep getting this weird... I don't know if it's... Yeah, oh, it's the display. Can you see it in that lens? I don't know how it's going to come out, but right now, making this video, it's just really weird. It looks like a blue stripe right over my eyeball. All right, have a great day. Keep wrenching. Squirrel.